What's up and welcome to B. Taylor Outdoors. I'm Ben. Today, this video is all about the hip pocket marking concept. We're going to show you what it looks like so you have an idea. We're going to show you how to set it up or start to set it up. And then also, if you run into any problems or things like that, we're going to talk about some of those. Okay, so what is the hip pocket? The hip pocket is a relationship of two guns that are throwing in the same direction. It can either be left or right to left, but it looks like that short gun station is throwing into the hip pocket of the long station. So it's kind of in line with that gun. So now that we kind of talked about that a little bit, we're actually going to get out into the field. I'm going to set up a hip pocket. I'm going to explain why I set it up that way. And also we're going to get Birdie out and we're going to run her on this setup so she can start to learn it and explain why I set it up for Birdie. And then we'll also talk a little bit more about advanced dogs, things like that. So let's get out into the field. Okay, so we got everything set out in the field. The way I like to start to teach young dogs and puppies marking concepts is in a relatively flat field like we have here with very little cover. So it can be just enough to where the dog, when they get to within 10 to 15 feet, they can see the bumper. But this field's kind of it just was cut not too long ago, so most likely the dog will be able to see the bumper all the way from the line, which isn't a bad thing. But what I also do is I run these as singles. And I'll start off with the long bird as our first single. So when they walk up to the line, they're learning to look out at that long gun first. Pick that long gun out. After they pick the long single up, then we'll come back and we'll run the short bird and let them pick that up. And that's starting to teach a young dog how to slowly check down. And that's when you're going to start introducing some of your cues. So like for this long bird, if I stepped up with Birdie, I'm going to tell her watch. So then she's learning that long bird is watch. When she comes back, I'm going to get her to look at the short gun. And I'm going to tell her easy. So then she's kind of starting to put those cues together, starting to learn them a little bit, things like that. And I'll do this and throw a setup where I'm going right to left first, or what'd I say? I'm sorry. So also like this setup right now, our short bird is probably about 50 yards, our long bird is probably about 90 yards or so, and they're both going right to left. Now if I set this up again later today, then I would set it up and maybe about the same distances, maybe a little different. The distance, the biggest thing you want with distance is a separation between your short bird and your long bird, so they have that relationship and they can see that there's a distinct difference between a long bird and a short bird. But if I was going to do this again today, I would take and throw my marks left to right. And I would run it again as singles with the long bird first, short bird second. And then after I've done that a few times to where they kind of start to see it and understand it a little bit, then I'm going to take and run the short bird first, then the long bird. So that long bird, what you're going to be teaching the dog now is to run past an old area or an old fall. So they got to keep going. So we'll get into some of the issues that you can run into with that a little bit later. But that's how I like to do it for young dogs and puppies when they're first learning these concepts. Now as they start to understand them, start to get a little more advanced, start running some good doubles, I'll come out and I'll set this up as a double, and I will run the long bird as our memory bird and our short bird is the go bird. And I'll do that a few times, throwing right to left and then left to right and things like that. So then they're not always getting used to seeing the same setup every time. And if you can, do it in different fields, do it in different places, so then your dog doesn't always get used to running the same place all the time. And also, if there's something you would like to add, put it in the comments. And I also really want to thank Tyler from the Gun Dog Outpost. If you check him out on Instagram, he also has a podcast. It's the Off the Lead podcast. It's really good. So I talked to him on Instagram, trying to get some ideas for how I wanted to try to do this video. So he's the one that helped out a little bit on this. So let's go back into our advanced dogs. Sorry about that. As we get into more advanced, we're throwing those doubles. I'm going to start out, like I said, throwing that long bird first as the memory bird, our short bird as our go bird. After they kind of start get the hang of that, we'll swap it up a little bit, and we'll throw the short bird as our memory bird, then our long bird is our go bird. And that's starting to get really kind of complex into advanced dogs, or a young dog that's learning how to do doubles off this concept, because now they're really having to run past a bird that they just watched land. So they're going to have to go hard and pick up that long bird, but now they're going to have to come back in after running long and actually go short and pick that short bird up. So talking about that a little bit, or let's get into some of the things that I do to set this up to help the dog if needed. So right now I have wingers. If you have somebody throwing for you, that's even better. I would rather have somebody throwing at least that long bird for me right now, because that's going to be our memory bird, and that's also going to be probably our harder bird to pick up. But if I'm using wingers, I'll set 2 wingers up out at the long station, so then if the dog has some issues, I can throw it again, or I can throw one en route so they don't backside the gun and they go pick up the bird. And also, if I'm doing this as a double, what I'll do is I'll put a short on the short bird for that memory bird, or actually any of them, sorry, when I run this as a double, then I'll take and put whatever the memory bird is, I'm going to have 2 wingers out there. And the reason I'll do that is so if the dog gets lost, a little confused, something like that, I can have a second bird to get them in the area or kind of teach them a little bit more. So that's some of the issues you make, or some of the things I use to help if I do have some issues. But let's go ahead and get Birdie out. If she has some issues, we're going to talk about it. And then we're going to get Belle out, and we're going to run this as a true double. So just give me a second. Okay, here. Heel. No. Okay, you're excited. All right, come on. Come here. 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 Heel. Sit. 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 Good. She's already looking out at that long, or she's looking at short bird right now. Making sure this rope's out of the way. No. I know. Come here. It's okay. Sit. Come on. Sit. Good. All right, I'm going to start introducing some cues here. Watch. Good. Watch. Birdie. So I can see that bumper all the way to there. Hopefully she's going to come back, because she's having some, or she's starting to teeth a little bit. So if she needs to. She got a little distracted. And that's why I've got that second winger out there. Atta girl! Come on! Atta girl! Got a little distracted, and that's why we have that second winger out there. Good! Here! Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. Birdie. Hey, hey, hey. Come on. Hey, hey. Come here. No, no, no. All right, come on. Get your bumper. Good. This way. Come on. I don't care how you pick it up. Let's go. There you go. All right. There you go. Good. Good. Drop. Good girl. All right. Here. Heel. Sit. Sit. Good. Sit. Easy. Easy. Good. Right there. Easy. No. Here. Easy. Easy, good. Sit. Birdie. Kind of changed my voice inflection. Gave her those cues. There we go. Hey, hey, good girl. Come on. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Look at there. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. All right, drop. Good. All right, let's go. Okay, so we just got done running birdie, and you saw one of the issues that you can kind of run into. If they get a little distracted on that long bird, then it's helpful to have either somebody throwing for you or having that second winger out there, so if they need help driving out there, you can get them out there. What I probably should have done is when she got about halfway there or so, thrown the second one just to keep her going instead of letting her get distracted. But I could see the bumper all the way from where I was. I don't know if she could. So one of those issues that you can run into, and also it'll keep the dog from backsiding that long gun, because that's not something you want right now. You want them to stay on the right side of the gun when they pick up their marks, or when they're running to their mark. So now let's get Belle out. We're going to reset this, and we're going to throw it as a true double. And if we run into any issues with her, we'll talk about it and talk about how we handled those as well. Heel. So I had to take the jacket off because it was starting to get hot. Here, sit. She's already looking out at that long bird. Good. There's the easy bird. Good. Watch. Watch. Sit. Belle. So, if you saw, I put through ducks for Belle. So they've got a little bit more scent, so if she gets out to that long bird and kind of starts to hunt, she has a little bit easier time finding it compared to a bumper. Here. Heel. Watch. Watch. Good, right there. No, watch. Good. Drop. Good. Belle. Taking a pretty good initial line there. So, if she was going to start to backside the gun and couldn't handle, then I would either have the bird boy throwing for me to actually fake throw and to get her on the right side, or with a winger, I'll throw another one. If she was starting to get collar conditioned, atta girl, good. If she was, well, Belle is collar conditioned, but if your dog is collar conditioned and starting to run doubles and they start to backside that gun, take them, stop them, give them a no here with a correction, bring them back, and either throw it again or resend them if they can't handle. If they can start to handle, then you can give them a no here with a correction and then cast them towards the bird and let them pick it up that way. There's multiple ways that you can correct for backsiding the gun or doing something wrong. Here. Heel. Sit. Drop. Good girl. So Belle didn't have any issues, which was good. But if your dog did have issues, there's multiple ways that you can try to correct them and teach them this concept. So, but hopefully you kind of started as singles, worked your way into doubles, so then they have an understanding of this concept, so hopefully they won't have any issues. But if you like the video, hit that thumbs up button for me. If you like the video, because I'm going to start doing some more marking concept videos, and you want to learn more about marking concepts, go ahead and subscribe. We also got some hunting videos coming up because goose season is in, dove season is in. There just haven't been a lot of birds around lately, or I haven't been able to find them. But we'll have more hunting videos coming up. So I want to thank y'all for watching. And don't forget, their season never ends. Good girl. Right here.